So we want to thank everybody for joining us today for our Education Beyond Borders 2025, and happy International Education Week, everyone. So um, we are here for the final info session. Now that we have everybody, again, we are recording this session, and everyone registered for this session will receive the recording. So if you're joining us with a mobile device, please be advised we are sharing a presentation, so you may have to adjust your modes on your phone. And we have allotted some time at the end for Q&A. However, if you have questions, just feel free to drop them in the chat. We have some amazing staff on hand that is going to be able to answer those questions, and we are going to address all the questions at the end. So in case you can't see the chat, don't worry, we'll get those questions added. And again, like I said, you're going to get the recording, so you can always go and listen to it over again. And also, we ask that you mute your microphone so that it will not interfere with the presenters. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me go ahead and here. My name is Yvonne Garcia, and I am the program manager with the Community Solution Education System. And I will go ahead and pass it on to Dr. Fortune.
Hi, I'm Luann Fortune. I'm with Saybrook University, where I'm the Associate Department Chair of Mind-Body Medicine, and I've served there as a professor for the last 13 years. So I'll tell you more about myself in a little while, and I'll pass it on to Tanya.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Sadowski, and I am one of the program coordinators at the Community Solution Global Global Engagement Department. I am very excited about this program, and I also wanted to introduce my wonderful colleague, Hannah Moss. She's here, and she will be posting some things in the chat. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware that she's one of our team. I will pass it back over to Yvonne.
Thank you, thank you. Great. And so let's go ahead and apologize. This is lovely. Okay, so great. Before we get started, I wanted to share with everyone a little bit about International Education Week and what is International Education Week. International Education Week is our annual celebration that promotes the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide. It's a joint initiative organized by the U.S. Department of State and Department of Education, and it highlights the importance of preparing students for a global environment and encourages cultural exchange and understanding. It occurs our third week of each November, and we are a part of some amazing institutions that have joined in to celebrate and encourage our cultural exchange and understanding, like supporting what we are here for, this Education Beyond Borders. So how do you get involved? Make sure you take part in the activities during the week, and we hope that you're able to join us for the events that have happened so far. There have been some amazing events that have happened so far. So if you look at the advertisements, and we're going to go ahead and share some of the events. Tanya?
Yes, thank you so much, Yvonne. As Yvonne mentioned, we've had some incredible events. You can see the recordings of all of them so far, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on our YouTube channel. Our final one is tomorrow, Friday, November 22nd. It is a student panel and faculty panel, all about study abroad, and what a meaningful experience it has brought to those who've participated. You'll be hearing from students who have recently studied abroad in South Africa, Germany, and Brazil. Like I said, there will also be faculty there who have gone on these trips, as well as our international liaison officers from South Africa and Germany. I will put the flyer for this with a link to that panel in it, so you can register, and we hope to see you tomorrow. I also want to make sure that everybody is aware of our ongoing photo contest. Please submit any photos you have of your international travels and experiences. Everyone is welcome to submit their photos and then vote on them. And whoever gets the most votes on their photo will receive a nice prize from us. I will put the link to that as well in the chat. But we really hope to see you tomorrow for our final wrap up of this amazing International Education Week so far. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Back to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, so our education beyond borders, that's what we're here for. So what is EBB and why you should be joining us for Education Beyond Borders in Seoul. So EBB is a study abroad program, but I want to let everybody know that EBB is, it's so much more than a study abroad program. So the Community Solution Education System is inviting all of our eligible participants in the TCS community to come join us and embark on this unforgettable journey through this biannual study abroad experience. So our initiatives for the program provide students with a chance to engage in a program that truly is on a global scope. So what is in it for you? By participating in EBB, just so many different things, becoming a global citizen through immersive exposure to Korean culture, number one. Developing a cross-cultural communication skill through hands-on. You're going to be doing this hands-on. You're going to be living it for this week of the program and gaining global experiences to broaden your perspective. You know, just you're going to definitely be in there live, getting all that experience and enhancing your foreign language abilities and building upon your experience, many other vital skills that Dr. Fortune is going to share with us in just a few moments. So we're all committed to adding to this global dimension to your education. So we're really excited about this program for you all to join with us. So participant eligibility. So who is all eligible to participate? All of our, the Community Solution colleges and schools and universities. We have participants from the Chicago School, University of Western States, Pacific Oaks, Saybrook, and colleges of law. So I would like to, for everybody in the group, if you can please share what college or university you are from, that would be amazing. If you want to share that in the chat, that way we can kind of see, and you can kind of also see which of your classmates are going to be joining us or interested in joining us as well. And Tanya, do you see?
I do indeed. So far, we have folks from Pacific Oaks College, the Chicago School, Saybrook University.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're so excited to see everybody in here. So just a little bit, tell you a little bit more as far as the program eligibility. So I'm so happy to see all those schools represented, but a little bit about the participant eligibility. All applicants must be 21 years of age or older at the time of your application. All applicants must be active in their program. And you have to be in good academic and financial standing. If you have any questions on those, we are here to help you navigate to find that answer on how you get that confirmation. So just feel free to reach out to us. So why South Korea? Why did we choose South Korea? Okay, why not? It met so many of our goals that we were looking at when we were trying to choose an ideal location. But it hit three major goals and themes that we were focused on when we chose a destination that we felt that met the overall goals. The themes that we were looking at when we chose South Korea was bridging healthcare, technology, and cultural horizons. So we're going to go ahead and expand on those things a little more. So when I mentioned those three goals that we were looking at, bridging healthcare, South Korea boasts one of the most advanced healthcare systems globally, offering participants a unique opportunity to explore cutting-edge medical innovations and best practices. And Dr. Fortune is going to share so much more on a little bit of these touch points, but you know, it's amazing. And once you begin to learn all of these different things that South Korea boasts on, you're going to be as excited as we all are. Technology, South Korea is a technological powerhouse known for its leadership and innovation. Participants are going to engage in site visits to witness firsthand on how innovations are driving the country's economic success and how they are expanding globally. So, and then cultural horizons. With South Korea, with its rich and vibrant traditions, it offers a deep cultural experience. So, participants, you know, hopefully you're going to join us, and you'll be able to immerse yourselves in the cultural country heritage, and you'll be able to gain a profound historical and modern view of how everything is influenced. So it's going to be amazing. So right now I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Miss Tanya so she can give us a little bit more information on the site.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yvonne. Yes, as Yvonne mentioned, you're going to get an incredible immersive experience in Seoul, South Korea, and South Korea in general. We will be visiting global historical sites as well as participating in a service learning program and project. Yvonne, if we can go on to the next slide. So here is the itinerary, version of the itinerary that we're looking at, just so that you have an idea of what to expect when you are on ground in South Korea. We will have a welcome dinner for you that first evening and an orientation so that everybody can meet each other, get to know each other, and understand the expectations while you are in South Korea. We will be visiting, as Yvonne mentioned, a technology-themed site. We're looking at either the Samsung Innovation Museum or LG Electronics. We are going to take advantage of the huge impact that South Korean pop culture has had among the world, especially recently, by visiting one of the studios. We're looking at either JTBC, KBS On, or Union Pictures. We will be visiting, and I do not speak Korean, but so forgive any mispronunciation, Bojuwan's Oriental Medicine Experience in the Seoul K-Medi Center. We will be visiting a traditional South Korean temple. And of course, you will have free time at the end of every day to explore on your own, connect with each other, make new friends, and really immerse yourself in what Seoul has to offer. Next slide. Again, we will be exploring the dynamics, of course, of a Korean university and a village exploration with a walk to the Bukchon Hanok village, which is rich in the traditional Korean architecture. I mentioned earlier that will be a service learning component to this. You will be participating in a hands-on community service project. We are hoping to either visit a North Korean refugee site or an orphanage. Also, it looks like somebody can't see the slides in the chat, Yvonne. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I can. Should I continue?
You know, they might just need to click the top of the bar that says show Yvonne Garcia screen. Try that.
Give that a try.
Thank
please.
you, Dr. Fortune.
Thank you. We will also be visiting the demilitarized zone, aka the DMZ. The DMZ was established actually to serve as a buffer zone between North Korea and South Korea. You're going to learn all about the history of North Korea and South Korea by visiting the Bridge of Freedom, the third infiltration tunnel without monorail, the Dora Observatory, and much, much more. This is going to be a very impactful experience visiting the DMZ. And then after that visit, you will actually have a lunch at a local farm restaurant, again, giving you that really hands-on, direct experience with Korean life and what it's really like. So we really hope you join us. Yvonne?
Yes. And we'll go ahead and hear from Dr. Fortune now.
Thank you, and thanks for this. Thanks for the podium. So I am really excited about this course. So since being invited to develop the course and serve as the lead, I've taken a deep dive into Korea and South Korea, North Korea culture, governance, with the focus of what does all of this have to do with health and wellness. So by my way of background, I'm a professor in mind body medicine, where I consider myself a scholar practitioner. So experiential learning is very important to me. I think that there is no substitute for the experience of those of you who do decide and are able to go to South Korea with us to give you the firsthand immersive experience of what does everything we read and learn and talk about South Korea mean when we're actually there. So I'm an interdisciplinarian from a scholarly standpoint. I have worked with our curriculum at Saybrook, instituting experiential pedagogy. I'm also a systems thinker, so the way of developing this course has come very natural to me. I'm a lifelong educator, and I've worked with some of you before. You know that I'm an advocate for integrative healthcare and how things are connected, having to do with health and wellness, both on an individual and a societal basis. So I am used to developing curriculum, and this course has me very excited. So in addition to that, I also see myself as a global citizen. I've visited over 50 countries outside of the US. I have visited 48 of the 50 states and territories in addition to that. And I really believe in the transformative power of visiting other places and cultures and becoming a global listener. So if we can go to the next slide, I'd like to talk a little bit about the course and the way that I'm conceptualizing it and putting it together. So as you've heard before, South Korea today is a major economic power, and that has been demonstrated through the global technology dominance that they have extended throughout the entire globe. Anybody who has a cell phone with them right now is feeling the impact of South Korean innovation, which has continued on and also propelled South Korea from being a relatively compromised economy, society, and system to being the third major power in Asia and having influence throughout the globe and the planet as an international player economically and technologically. We can point to, as we've said, Samsung and LG, and you'll actually get a chance to visit one or the other of those. But the fingers of the technology industry extend throughout South Korean culture and economy. So what does any of this have to do with health and wellness? Well, technologically, they are very advanced in terms of how they dealt with the COVID epidemic and prevention and tracking, and continue to use AI to invest it into their healthcare systems directly. They do have a national healthcare system, but it does have some challenges. But on an even broader scope, in the way we're framing the class, is what does technology as an economic powerhouse have to do with the health and wellness of the society? And how are all these things connected for the individual who lives, and also the sustainability of South Korea as an entity from a governance standpoint, as a nation, as a society, and as a culture? So on that note, we're going to take a deep dive into a place that is very contemporary, and it's the K-wave pop culture movement, which is a fusion of art, music, entertainment, food, skincare, and any number of things that has propelled South Korea into also being a major economic player globally as they export their own entertainment sources around the world. And we're going to see what actually that means. Because at this nexus of technological innovation and artistic expression also comes the tensions and challenges of growing as a society in this environment we're all living in. What does it mean to the educational systems, in addition to the healthcare networks that are stressed and strained? How is South Korea grappling with, dealing with that? What does that have to do with equity within the society? We're going to be looking at all those things, and we'll have firsthand experience, to visit and talk to other students, to people who are in the technology industry, who are people who are in the pop culture movement, and to experience it ourselves. In this course, I want to create space for conversation with all of you. So this is much more than a immersion trip to South Korea. This is a way of looking at how we can learn by studying abroad, by listening internationally and globally to other places, and by discerning and honoring in an ethical way what we can bring back and reinvest in all of our own communities. So this is a real life course. It's a 3-unit course. It will be an exciting place for academic inquiry as well as that being there experience, and hopefully contribute to each and every one of you a transformative experience that you can carry forward in your future travels, your studies, and your practice. So if we can go to the next slide, I want to summarize a couple of things. What you can expect to take away. Everybody's going to have their own unique experience, but as participants enroll in the course going forward, and it's very important that you actually are enrolled in the course going forward, because I want to customize it to address whether we have undergraduates, master's students, doctoral students, what fields of study you're coming from. If you're coming from education, if you're coming from healthcare, if you're coming from law. Yes, there is an important place in this conversation for law as well. If you're coming at it from mental health, from the psychology fields, from the social sciences, all of those things will be addressed in this integrative curriculum, which will also breed greater cultural awareness. So we're hoping we can understand the complexities of diverse perspectives, so important in the age and time we're living in right now, and on a very personal level, embody the inclusiveness that's so important to being a global citizen, a global listener. I'll hand it back to you, Yvonne.
Thank you so much. That all sounds so amazing. I'm so excited for the students on this. So definitely we appreciate that. So just a little bit going back and just, now that we're all so amped up and excited, how do you join us? We're going to walk through the process on how to join us, what you need to know, what are some things, and then we will recap with, some Q&A. We're going to read some of the Q&A that is listed in the chat, and we're going to give you the opportunity to ask questions, whether it be about, the program itself or what Dr. Fortune is going to bring to this unique, amazing experience, or, just any questions in general. But to start off with some important dates, our application deadline is tomorrow. However, we do want to make sure that everyone is given the opportunity to participate that wants to participate. If you have an outline issue or concern or, something, please connect with us. We definitely want to hear everybody out. We want to make sure that everyone is able to participate in this. Our travel dates for the program are listed on the screen, the travel dates, the ones that, I know some of you may be looking at this on the phone. So the travel dates are the March 30th through the April the 5th. But as Dr. Fortune mentioned, you're going to have dates for the program itself, the coursework, and then the travel dates. It's two different things. You do have to participate in both of them. You can't just pick one or the other. So it's a class. So we are fast approaching the deadline. However, again, please reach out to us and we can discuss that. But as far as the program itself and the program fees and details, the program cost is $2,933. And what does that include? That does include the hotel accommodations, double occupancy, select meals, breakfast is included, transportation to the program location. So you're not going to have to try to find your way to the one of the locations that we're going to be visiting. That is covered within the program cost. Program facilitator, they're going to have program facilitators. They're going to be having translators on with us during the program. So don't feel that you have to learn, the language before the March departure. So that is included. Supplemental travel insurance is included in that fee. pre-departure coordination. So we're going to be meeting with everybody just to give them some packing tips, some tips on, best practices. We're going to prep you on what you need as far as your passport, as far as, other items for the trip. Education program content and the cultural immersion activities. So you won't have to pay, this is all included in the program cost. You don't have to pay an additional, fee to get into any of the activities. So that is all included. Now, what's not included is the round trip flight to and from Seoul. What is not included is the airport pickup and drop off and incidentals. So whatever you want to buy on your own when you get there, because you are, like we mentioned earlier, going to have a lot of opportunities, free time to roam about and explore on your own and shop on your own. So definitely you want to pack a little bit of extra money for those incidentals. Now, we will be discussing a little bit of financial aid in just a few moments, but we do want to let you know that if you receive financial aid may be used towards the tuition and program fees of the course. But we encourage you to check with your financial aid advisor. And so we will go ahead and go on, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Tanya.
Thank you. As Yvonne mentioned, financial aid can help you cover the cost of the Education Beyond Borders program. Hannah just put in the chat the email addresses for the financial aid departments for each of your schools. So please reach out to them directly to find out what they can help you cover in terms of this amazing opportunity. Before you do that, you want to make sure that you are also eligible and that you can go on this trip. You definitely want to discuss any course substitutions with your department chair or academic advisor to make sure that you are good to go for this course. You do need to be enrolled at half-time and meeting satisfactory academic progress, which is SAP. If eligible for financial aid, it could cover the international program fee, your tuition, your flight expenses, any miscellaneous expenses. So you definitely want to talk to them about getting your financial aid package in, and if there are any supplemental forms that you would need to fill out to cover any things like your incidentals or flight expenses, you want to get that in as soon as possible. And like I mentioned, please contact your financial aid office if you have any questions about your eligibility and any deadlines that you may need to know about in order to get your full package to cover this. Next page. So we do have a couple of deposits, as Yvonne mentioned. The deadline is tomorrow. So the total fee for this program is $2,933. In order for your application to be finalized, you have to pay a $500 non-refundable deposit with your application, as well as an additional $500 deposit by tomorrow, by the deadline prior to the deadline. So that is $1,000 total deposit by tomorrow's deadline. All of that does go towards your final payment, your overall payment for this course. So after tomorrow, when you pay your $1,000, your total final payment for this program will be $1,933, which is due January 30th. So please know there are many people that have some applications in, but we haven't received those deposits yet. Your applications are not considered complete without the application fee and the deposit. So please make sure that you get those in no later than tomorrow. And as Yvonne mentioned, if there are any things that are getting in your way of doing the payments or the deposits, please email us. You can email us at our general mailbox, which is engage@tcsedsystem.edu. Hannah will put that in the chat for you. Please email us if you have any concerns or any roadblocks, and we will work with you. Thank you. All right, so how do you apply for this program? For the travel part of the program, you would apply through our global portal. If any of you have recently taken part in any of our study abroad or field experience programs, you've used this portal as well. This is also where you will submit your deposit. And again, you want to discuss any course substitutions with your academic advisor or your department chair or dean if that's required. You do need to register for both the course and the program. As Yvonne mentioned, you can't pick one and not the other. You do the online course and you do the travel to South Korea. You can't just go to South Korea and not do the course. You can't just do the course and not go to South Korea. It's all in one, so you have to register for your course and you have to apply for this travel portion. If you want to go ahead and stop sharing your screen, Yvonne, I would love to walk people through how to apply. Excellent, thank you.
Absolutely. While Tanya is pulling that up, and she got that up super quick. So awesome. Yes, we are still trying to answer the questions in the chat. And so please keep them coming. Again, we're going to address them at the end of the session in just a few moments. So go ahead and take it away, Tanya.
Thank you. So this is our portal. You get to it by the website. I believe it's going to be shared in the chat if it hasn't already been shared as well. There are two ways you can access this application. The very first one right here at the top, you'll see where it says on the gray bar, Education Beyond Borders 2025, open now. You click on the more info and it takes you to the program brochure where you can access the application. That's the easiest, most straightforward way. Not that the other way is complicated, but the other way is you come over to students, as you are all students, you hover over that and you will go all the way to the bottom where it says Education Beyond Borders. You click on that and it will take you to our program brochure. This is our program brochure for Education Beyond Borders 2025 South Korea. As you scroll down, you'll get, of course, a little bit more information, pretty much everything that we've covered today, but you can read it at your leisure and really understand more of what is going to be covered. Dr. Fortune's email address is right here. You can also scroll up and look at the course name and course code. So when you are registering for that course, you know exactly what the course code is and the course title. It is a 3-credit course. If you click on additional information, it again gives you some eligibility requirements and all of the deadlines and the deposit information. And then the application process is pretty straightforward. You click on apply now and you go through what you need to do. So I'm going to click on apply now. So just to give you an overview of what it looks like that you need to submit by tomorrow. You use your community solution login information. So that is your school email address and your password that you use for that. Once you click that slowly, you will have to select the term. So you just click on that. There's only one term, spring. And wait. Okay, here is the application. It is pretty straightforward. You would click get started, and then you have to fill out all of these requirements. Your passport requirement, it basically is asking, do you have a passport? If you don't, please get started on that process as soon as possible because there are delays with processing passports right now. So please, if you don't have a passport and you want to go to South Korea, please start that process now. Your vaccination status, if you have to acknowledge whether you're in good academic standing and just sign a few things. For tomorrow, the main things that we need from you in order for you to be able to participate in this are the 2 deposit payments right here. So deposit payment 1 is your application fee, that $500 non-refundable. Deposit payment number 2 is the additional $500 that is due tomorrow. So if you just click on deposit payment, it'll tell you here that you have to pay it. It is via PayPal. So you'll get a confirmation screen from PayPal once you submit it, but you just click where it says pay 500. And even though it is via PayPal, you enter either a credit card or a debit card. So you just go ahead and enter your card number, your information, you click pay now, and it is powered through PayPal, but you would need to use your credit card or debit card. So you would have to do that both for the application fee, the $500, and the additional $500 deposit that is due tomorrow with our deadline. And then once you have all of that in, your application will be complete and reviewed, and hopefully you'll be joining us in South Korea. Yvonne, I'll turn it over to you. You're still muted.
Definitely, almost Friday here. But I know we covered a lot of information, and it's a lot of hopefully very useful information. I want to share with everybody that we have spent hours and hours building this program unique for everybody. So we are so excited that you have shown interest. We are here. We are committed to help you get to that point to where we can um, help you foresee, that in your future. We definitely are excited about it. We are so excited when we hear Dr. Fortune every time give us more and more information. So but we want to open it up to questions. So like I said, feel free, if you don't have a mic, you can put them in the chat. We will read the questions in the chat. And if you want to raise your hand or just, take yourself off mute, we have, Dr. Fortune here to help us address some of the questions. So let's go ahead and look at the chat, and I'm just going to go ahead and address those first. So again, Tanya did share the International Education Week photo contest. Please, that it's a great prize. Join that. Click on that link. We have students from Pacific Oaks, Saybrook, Chicago School. Wonderful, wonderful. And we've got the slides working. You can see them. Yay! So definitely, just click on those. And then, so one of the first questions about the program coming from Sarah, what are some examples of course assignments, Dr. Fortune, if you want to share with us?
Oh, Sarah had like 2 questions in there. Would you
Wonderful.
mind very much if I shared my screen?
Go for it.
Okay.
Definitely. We're
Yeah,
excited about
because
that.
Sarah, I think we've worked together at some point. So if we have, I love visuals. So I love to make drawings of things when I'm playing around with stuff. So I actually early on created this visual about the conceptual framework for the course. So in one of the triads of the course, there is healthcare. And in South Korea, we have the opportunity to look at how a country that was relatively poor and marginalized went from, in a very short period of time, from being a dictatorship to being a democracy and offering national health care to all of its citizens. So within the healthcare system, we have an opportunity to look at how did they nationalize healthcare? How did very interesting, technology influence how they nationalize healthcare? And that is so evident in the way that they dealt with the COVID-19 epidemic. And there are peer-reviewed studies using South Korea as an example of just that. There are also studies that are coming out that are looking at the technology influence on healthcare right now. So you'll notice we have this other quadrant. Technology is an important part of the course. You didn't ask about that, but I think it's important, if we consider social determinants of health, to consider how all sectors of society can contribute to individual and societal wellness through wealth, through a sense of a wonder, which brings me actually to pop culture. Pop culture also has an influence directly on healthcare. And one of the things we're going to be looking at later on in the course, especially after we have prepared ourselves for 4 weeks, immerse ourselves in 1 week, and then come back and have an opportunity to reflect, take a deeper dive. How does this actually factor into healthcare? One of the things, unfortunately, we're going to find out is that there is a tremendous mental health care epidemic going on in South Korea, in particular with the youth right now. There are actually some analysts who claim that part of that is due to the pressure and the influence that stems from pop culture and the proliferation of social media through idols. And we're going to take a look at that. How are these things interconnected? Assignments, and I'm going to stop sharing for no, I like this. So we're looking at the whole system. How is wellness, wealth, wonder? How are these things connected to the individual's health and wellness in South Korea? One of the things I'm doing as background is I'm even reading Korean literature right now. For those of you who are readers, Hong Kong just won the Nobel Prize for Literature. She is the first woman in Asia to win that award. She is the first South Korean to win that award. And her book, The Vegetarian, talks about mental health crisis within the context of South Korean culture in a very poignant existentialist way. I'd really recommend it. So what can we learn from that? Back to your question about the assignment, I'm going to ask everyone in the class to keep a reflective journal from the very beginning. So beginning with how these different sectors influence your life. What does Korean technology innovation have to do with you sitting, say, in the San Francisco Bay Area? How has that affected you personally? And I think you'll find when you start connecting the dots that we are indeed connected. The next thing we're going to take a close look at is then, what does that mean when we study abroad? What are the ethical issues of actually looking at another culture? And then without the risk or considering the risk of misappropriation, how can we then bring that back? So your final assignment for everybody in the class is to identify one product, process, or program that you have observed in South Korea that you would like to introduce to your own community of practice, to your own professional work, or to your own physical geographic community. And how would you need to modify that? What resources would you need, and what are some of the obstacles that could happen? Again, considering the ethics of it. Finally, as a final big picture question, I'd ask everybody in the class to take a look at what are the tensions between individual health and wellness and societal health and wellness and sustainability. So you can see that there are multiple layers here. There's an ability to address it at all levels of inquiry, and I hope this is an approach that you can use in all of your future travels and studying abroad or any time that you look at another culture. How's that, Sarah? Questions?
I think that answered a lot of questions and so much more, definitely. So she said, so helpful. Thank you, Dr. Fortune. Definitely appreciate that thorough response. You know, that's great. She answered, you know, the course work details, some examples of what you will be doing. So that's amazing. A couple of the other questions in the chat were, are there any applications you would recommend to help learn the Korean language? Now, I did mention Duolingo. I personally use Duolingo, and I've had actually some great reviews, learned some great reviews on Memrise and Hello Talk. I haven't personally used them, but I've heard some great things on them. I'm going to ask my team, do you all know of any other applications that they may be able to use? Or I know Duolingo's one of the biggest ones and it's free, so you can get started for free. So, you know,
AI,
that's always great.
AI. So as long as we're in the mess of AI and how it affects many things, what I'd hope we can all do is say please and thank you. And the South Korean language, the language is, I don't expect anybody to master that, but we will have guides with us. We're going to have a lot of support along the way, because one of the things we have to be prepared for is, unlike if you travel to London or even Paris or Buenos Aires, most people are not going to speak English if we get into communities and neighborhoods, or if you go to a karaoke, although a lot of the music will be in English. So we need to be mindful of having a different language when we are entering into that. Another Han Kang book about language and its importance, Greek lessons. I recommend it if you're thinking about taking the trip. All of this will be on supplemental on your reading list. Someone else?
Right. And Hannah mentioned that she has a subscription to Rosetta Stone, and it's been an incredible investment to learn other languages as well. So I forgot about that one. Thank you so much, Hannah, for including that, because yes, definitely that's a great one. It's a good contender on that one, on that list. Another question that we had, is the program open to alums? And at the moment, I'm so sorry. I don't like saying no, but it's not open to alums. It is only open to current students. But hopefully in the future, we will revisit that and definitely be able to open it up in the future for other programs. Is there any articles, Candy asked, is there any some articles that you can explore, that they can explore on how they can slowly dive into the exposure of the Korean culture? Do you have any personal recommendations, Dr. Fortune?
Thank you for asking that. And I'll actually double check with my team here, but I would like to make the syllabus available to participants as soon as we have a firm confirmation of the course. So this is all very important to you all. That deadline of November 22nd is really important because until we know who's participating, I will not finalize the syllabus because I need to see who's going to be showing up, not only how many, but where you're coming from and what level of study you are at. In the meantime, you are welcome to reach out to me individually. You can do what I did, which is go into Google Scholar and start poking around technology and healthcare. You can, even if you're paying attention right now, South Korea is showing up a lot in the popular media, in the daily news, having to do not only with the geopolitical considerations, because South Korea is still technically at war with North Korea, and we're going to actually see what it's like. What does it mean to thrive as a society when you are technically still at war? So you could take a look into that. And again, if you have nothing in particular that piques your interest, take a look at Hong Kang's work, and I'll put her name into the chat box. She's the one who just won the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Wonderful. Yes. And Candy said, thank you so much for that response. Now, we definitely want to take any other questions. Do you have any other questions that we can help answer, or, definitely want to open it up to, please let us know if there's any barriers that are preventing you from, signing that dotted line per se, to get you committed. So we definitely want to work with you individually and learn about your story on number one, why you are interested, and help you fulfill that that goal of being able to visit next year with us. So please, just feel free to ask your question or put it in the chat. Yes, you can unmute yourself, Derek. You should be able to unmute. If not, Tanya can help you get unmuted.
Let's see, it just says ask to unmute. There he goes.
Wonderful. Derek, you are able to speak now. You have a voice. Oh, we can't hear you though. And thank you, Dr. Fortune, for adding that in there. And Derek, yeah, take your time. You're good. Candy did ask, transportation, will this be the same as CA? I'm not sure what CA is. If you
California, like in California, like how we can use our apps to do transportation, is it like the same setup here, there? Like from meaning like, I have a couple of different apps that I use for transportation. And
like Uber or just
like
share ride or things.
and like ride shares, different things. Just
I get it. I
everyone
get your
else is
question now.
unique, but I'm just curious, like, is the same setup that we all use here, is it the same over there, or will we need to think differently?
So we will be having, again, for the planned excursions, or the destinations that we're going to be visiting, we will have the transportation arranged, but for during your free time to explore on your own, definitely that's going to be part of our workshops that you're going to have before you travel. So we will discuss those, and we'll have a list to provide you with those types of things.
Just as a quick note too, so Candy, there are services. It's not exactly the same as here, but it won't be so unfamiliar, so you'll be fine. Also, public transportation in South Korea is one of the best in the world. So even if you don't feel comfortable using like Kakao Taxi or anything like that, you can definitely use public transportation, which again, Yvonne said we will cover a little later on too.
And we, when I mentioned earlier that we're going to have a workshop, it's what it's called the health and safety presentation that our community solution team overseas, and we'll talk about all of those. We're going to provide you with a lot of resources. We're going to cover a lot of different things, but yes, and we're so lucky to have some team members have been to South Korea already. So, thank you, Hannah, for adding that in. We appreciate that. Derek, are you able to talk now? No, no. Oh, goodness. Oh, okay. So you did put it in the chat. So great. Thank you so much. So let me go ahead and scroll down. Derek state, what are the start and end dates of the course exactly? And what is the extra cost of a single room? Do I need specific vaccinations to travel? And so we can go ahead and send you that information. And so the specific vaccinations to travel, we will provide all of the information on that. Dr. Fortune, do you have the class dates, the course dates? And she's going to go ahead and probably drop that into the chat. Okay, perfect. Sounds great. And I'll go ahead and read that so that way everybody is able to see that. It is Term B course, so March 3rd through April the 27th. Again, the travel dates are March 30th through April the 5th, but the term is a little longer. So to cover, the specific classwork and the coursework. So hopefully that adds the questions. To answer your questions about the single room cost, the extra cost, we are trying to get a final number. One of the things that a lot of people do not know is the more people we have for the program, the more affordable we're going to be able to pass those savings on to our students. So, definitely trying to get that cost to you as low as possible. So, if you found yourself interested in this program, definitely share it with your classmates, and so, the more people that we have to join, the more savings we can pass on to everybody. But once we get the final amount on that, hopefully we can get it lower. It can hopefully, balance out that single room cost. But right now, we'll get that information on to you. So let me see. And Dr. Fortune added a little bit more information in here. And team, did I miss any questions in the chat?
I don't think so. No.
So, please feel free to keep sending it in there. We did again put our information in the chat, that engage email. We're going to be sending the recording out. We are going to be reaching out to you. So once you fill out the applications, thank you so much for sitting in this session. Hopefully it was very beneficial to you on deciding to go with us to South Korea. So, we are really excited, but we're going to be reaching out to you. So that way, if you have any other questions that you just didn't think about during the session, or, questions that are, a little bit more personal, specifically to you, we are here to help. Dr. Fortune has been so generous with her time to work with students individually. So, if you have questions as far as the program, she's shared her information, and we are definitely going to keep sharing that. So if you want to email that engage or email her directly, we welcome both. But any other questions in here? Let's see.
I keep
Okay.
posting my ideas.
I'm so happy about that. Yes. Try
Yeah,
kimchi. Yes, definitely
yeah.
try kimchi.
Yeah, I discovered my farmer's market has a couple, and she is from South Korea. She's from Seoul. And during COVID, they went into a cottage industry business. So they jar their kimchi and they sell it at the farmer's
Wow,
market. It's
that's
really
awesome.
wonderful too.
Yeah.
But the food I had in New York was pretty wonderful too.
Yeah.
So if you're near a major metropolitan area, there are South Korean cultural centers all over. And if you're not geographically near them, they often offer online programs too. So if you want to get a taste of either literally or figuratively, what South Korean culture is like, there's lots of opportunities for us. After all, they did lead the technology innovation that's affected so many of us. So their presence on the internet is well established.
Hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Wonderful. Well, I definitely want to be conscious of everybody's time, and we definitely, again, appreciate you all joining us for this hour. Please, feel free to connect with us. And also, again, as a reminder, final reminder, we will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to be having a student panel. Please check your email. This was sent out to everyone. It's going to be an amazing student panel on experiences. And again, we have the photo contest going. We did share that in the chat. But definitely the prize is amazing. So, submit your photos on your travel and for that photo contest. We definitely want to encourage that. But we all hope that everyone has a wonderful International Education Week, and hopefully everybody stays safe and well.
I don't know if I could stay on just for a second to ask, just to have a little bit of confirmation as I just did and finished my application and made the payment. On my end, it was just showing of